So we are going through Firebase, and I'll take us through the process of creating an account on Firebase. So you create an account online, then you're able to access the account or the database you're able to access online. So the first and most important thing is you should be able to have a Google account. So we all know that we have a Google account. I'm sure everyone has a Gmail account. So ensure that you have a Gmail account, and that Gmail account is actually logged in. Then now you're going to search for Firebase on Google. So you'll search for Firebase.
Can you see some exercise on
So you search for Firebase on Google.
Really? Okay, let me try once again.
So you search for Firebase on Google. Then once you get your Firebase account,
okay, so do that now, and then we'll revise that before the lesson ends. Yes. Sawa. So ukifika hapa uniambia
Firebase. So once you click on Firebase, you can now search on.
Yes,
Pick the first one, firebase.google.com. So you go to Firebase console and it will take you to searcher. So the thing with Firebase, you always have to have very good internet connection. If you don't have good internet connection, Firebase itasumbua sana. So ensure you have good internet connection when you're trying to create an account or go to Firebase. So the first thing is to sign in using an account. So I'll sign in. So just click sign in. If you don't have an account, you just do sign up. So I'll say use another account. So I'll use another account to sign in. So you just sign in on Google. So once you sign in on your Google and sign up on Firebase, you'll have the account there. Then the first thing you're going to do is you're going to go to console. So unaenda kwa console. So you'll just click here, go to console or get started. So either of the two, and it will take you to the Firebase console. So step one, I hope you're noting this step somewhere, because this one I'm not going to share a step-by-step method. You're just going to, it's a simple process. We learn in class, then you go. So you're going to take in the steps, create an account, and then add a project. So these are things that you're not going to share. So so once you click go to console, itakuleta place kama hii. So you will find your projects here. So this is where you will put your projects. So as much as we have our Android Studio, you will have your project on Android Studio. One, you have your project on Android Studio. And then secondly, you link your project to this. So for example, you created a project called Login on Android Studio. login on Android Studio. So you will come and add a project. So you create a new project and then you add it here. So every app you're creating, you can always come and put them in your Firebase projects. The other thing is you don't have to have so many projects. You can use one project for different available opportunities that you have on Firebase. So I'm going to go to the step-by-step method on how you will add a project on Firebase. So now, just a minute. Okay. So we are going to click on Add Project. I hope you remember step 1, log into Google. Step 2, search for Firebase on your Google account, on Google. Click on Firebase and sign in. Then you will now go to Firebase console. So when you now come to Firebase console, you will get a view like this one. So for you, you will just click your add project. So when you click on add project, you're going to give your project a name. So you can come and say, you can give it a name. So you can say MIT Journal, then you say 2020. So you can give your project name MIT Jan 2020. So I'll just give it, I'll give it in uppercase. So I'll say MIT Jan 2020. So that is the project name we are going to give in our console. Then next step, you click on continue. So step 2, you're going to just see some items that have been enabled. So we've recommended you enable Google Analytics. So this you just then click on continue. Then step 3, you place your location. So you place your location, you choose your location for the nearest server. Then you say your location, Kenya. Then you accept. Then you now say create project. So it will create for you your project there. I hope you are following the steps. It will create your project. So it will create your project, and then it will tell you your new project is ready. Then we have our MIT. Now project yako ikisha create itakaa hivi. So for the sake of those who have just joined us, I'm just going to go through a simple process that I've said you follow. You go to Google, sign in with your Gmail account, search for Firebase, go to Firebase console, create a new project. You name your new project MIT Jan 2020. Then now you have your project labeled here. So now, as we can see, this is how your console looks like. So your console has the authentication part, has the database part, has a storage part. So we have different things that you can do with Firebase. So sometimes when we are working with Firebase, or when you're working with an app, inakwambianga authenticate using Google ama authenticate using Facebook. So that is what Firebase authentication does. So Firebase authentications allows you to sign in. Then we also have Firebase database. So the database part, so the first part is authentication, the next part is database. So you have database where now you can do normal storage vile tumefanya kwa SQLite. You can store items and fetch them. And this is usually very good because it's cloud. And especially if you now want to work with apps like e-commerce, you want to work with apps like images, Firebase authentication, Firebase database and storage will assist you to work with such apps. Then we have hosting and other different functions. And we also have the new quality, which is the machine learning kit, which also assists you to work with ML, machine learning, if you want to implement that in your application. So now, once you have this, then the first thing to do is you're going to add an app to get started. So for example, you created an app in your Android Studio. So you will just ensure that you go to Android Studio. So we'll just shift back to our Android Studio. So let me start my Android Studio. So I'll start my Android Studio as it opens and create an app. So we are going to create an app that we are going to call Login App. And then we are going to link the app here. So what you do now, you will add an app to get started. So the first thing is we are going to add an app, an Android app. So you will come to place your Android, then you click Android. So once you click Android, we are going now to link your app here. You're going to link your app here. So we link our Android app here, where we are going to register our app. So you can see we have the package name, we have the app name, which is optional. We have the signing certificate, and we also have the SHA-1. Then that is what we are going to use to register the app and then download the config file. So as we wait for our app to work, to open up, so I'm creating an app, then I'm going to call that app Login App in my Android Studio. Then I'll shift you back to my Android Studio to get the package name, the name, and the SHA-1. So as that project builds, I'll pick any question. So I'll pick any questions of maybe what we've not understood, or any question based on Firebase as we wait for the app to launch. Then I'll move you to my app screen. So I'll pick questions. Please ask questions so that we don't get lost in the midst of all this. So post your question in the chat, then we can now go through it. So I'll pick questions. So we've created the app, Login App, and now we have our screen right there. So I hope you are all able to see the screen. So now the first thing we are going to do, we are going to pick the package. So as you remember, when we were starting our projects, I said that the package name should be unique. So when you're creating your project and you say new and then you give a package name. So you ensure you give a package name that is unique, that app ingine haiko kwa Play Store has a package name. For example, you're creating maybe a messaging app. So you're going to give it a package name, just the way we give package names normally kwa Kotlin. You just give it a package name and say maybe messaging dot something. So you ensure you give it a unique package name so that when now it comes to authentication or Firebase, it does not clash with any other. So we'll pick our package. So unaweza ona easily our package name ndio hii hapa. So for you so the package name is just here. So in your main activity, ukienda hapo juu utaona package. So you pick your package, then I'll switch you back to our Firebase. So we pick that package and then we'll paste it there. So that is now going to be the package name of my app. I hope that's clear. Then you're going to give the name, the app a name. So you can say maybe login app. So you give the name, and then lastly, you give the SHA-1. So for the SHA-1, we are going to we'll move to our login app screen and get the SHA-1. So I'll just move you there in a minute. So I'll shift you back to our screen. So our screen, our login app, then we'll share. So I hope you're taking the steps. So the first part, so upper candle, you can see you have a Gradle. So you'll click the Gradle. You'll click the Gradle here. And then you will see the Gradle bar. Then you're going to just refresh here. Then we're going to go to this build setup. So this SHA-1 mostly in a assist, it assists when you want to work with fingerprints. So you see sometimes when you're creating an app that maybe you want to open the app with a fingerprint. So when you want to work with an app that works with fingerprint, you must work with the SHA-1. Otherwise, if you don't want to work with the fingerprint, you can always leave the SHA-1 out. But I'll just show us how to go about getting the SHA-1. So you get the sign-in report. Then you just come here, run. So you have the run here. Then we can now see the SHA-1. So you come to sign in report, then you just run. So you can see the SHA-1 for your project here. So you just come down here and you get there. So we have the encryption. So most of these are encryptions. So unaona hapa kuna MD5. We worked with MD5 in PHP, so you know how it is. Then you have SHA-1 and SHA-26. So you can say SHA-1, so depending on how you pronounce. So you can pick now your SHA-1. So you say Control-C, then you can now go back to your project. So I'll switch you back to my screen. So I've picked my SHA-1, go back to my screen. Then we'll now place it here. I hope that was clear. Unless there's a question, you can just ask it in the chat, then we can proceed. Then once you do that one, you click on register app. So our app is going to be registered. So once the app is registered, the next thing you're going to do, part 2, is download the config file. So we're going to download Google services.json. So this is the file now we are going to place inside our Android Studio. So if you don't have this file, then you cannot link your app to Firebase. So you're going to click download. So this is how you download it. You have to download it at this point. There is no other way you're going to download it. So you have to download it at this point. Then you can see clearly, even here it has written where to place the JSON file. So you can see Mesema, you go to project. So you go to project, then you go to Google services. So you place it inside the app file. Yeah. So you change your work to project and then you place it inside the app. So that also should be very, very clear. You go to project and then place it inside the app. You're also going to do that. So we download our Google services.json. So I'll download that. I'll download that. I've clicked download and it has downloaded. So, you download that file, and then once you download, you can just say next. Then now we are going to add this later. So the first thing before we move to adding these items, adding these SDKs, let's go and place our file inside Google services.json. So you can see my file is here. So I'll just click on the file. I'll just copy it. I'll copy it. So I'll move you back to my screen. Yeah, login app. So I'll pick my Google services.json. I'll copy it from where I have downloaded it. And then I'll now come here. So I'll just move this back. And that, I'll just go down. So now you make sure you change this to projects. So when you're pasting your Google services.json file, make sure you change it to project. If you don't change it to project and just place it in your app, then itakuwa na error. So the first part, you change this to, you change it to project. Then once you change it to project, you come to app. Hapa ndani ya app. So hapa ndani ya app, that's where we're going to place the JSON file. So you right click and paste. So I just copied, you copy and paste. So you make sure it's Google services.json, exactly tu vile ilikuwa. If you have many files, itakuja as 1, 2, 3, that is if you've done many projects before. So you ensure it's a Google services.json and then you press OK. So you ensure that the file is there and is correctly linked here. So up to there, up to venye tumeplace files zetu kwa Google services.json. Kuna swali? Any question? Any question? So if you have a question, just post it in the chat, then we can now talk about it later once we finish linking the app. So we have Google services.json. So we have linked our project. So I'll move us back to our project so that we finish working on that also. So now you can see Google Services plugin. So JSON files that you have downloaded will modify some of these to use the plugins. So there are some of these things that you're going to require. One is the Maven repository. So check that you have the following line inside your build.gradle. So venye tu amesema project level, so you go to project, place tulikuwa, then you check in your build.gradle if you have these lines. So if you have the Maven repository, you copy and paste. If you have the dependencies, GMS, if you don't have it, you paste. Then in all the projects, you paste. So I'll begin with this one. I'll copy this one. So you check in your repository if you have Google. So you go back to our screen, go back to our login app, and then we now move to our build.gradle. So you come to your build.gradle in hivi. So now you check in Asema if you have the following dependencies. So the first one imesema if you have inside your build scripts, so where is it? Here. So you check if you have inside your dependencies, you have the class path. So you go to your dependencies, upper, and check. Do you have GMS? So you may not be having GMS here. So you're going to place the GMS. So I'll just move you back and so that you see what items I'm going to place. So you move back to your, just move back here. So we have that. So inside the dependencies, you pick that one, then you can paste it. So you have that. So I'll place all of them that we require. Then the all projects. So then you go to app level. So you go to app module, build.gradle. If you don't have these following plugins, you can implement them. So the first one is Firebase Analytics. So it's this one. So you copy this one and we're going to paste it here. So this one, we're going to paste it here. So I'm going to show you all the files that I've pasted. I'll just comment and then I'll say newly added. So we place Firebase, so that, and then plugin, you're going to place that. So I'll go to our plugins and place that. say newly added. So we place the plugin, and then also plugin for Android application, that one is there. So you'll have that one, and that is for the dependency in your build.gradle. Then upper project level build.gradle, that is if you have these ones inside the scripts, so you can check that as well. So the class path, so I'll share my screen here. That. So we have the class path here. So that one we copy, and you're going to place them here. So we place them here. So I'll show you where I've placed all the apps. Then you say newly added. So now there are 4 items that we've added. So I'll go back to this and show you. So the first one we've added is Google. So Google was already there in our repositories, so we do not require it. Then we have the class path, and then we also have this one for the project. So these ones, we are going to place them here. So you go to your login app, and then you go to build.gradle enye iko nje kabisa. So you can see here kuna Google, so that one we do not need to add. Then we add the GMS. So the newly added is this we've added, and then in all projects we can see Google. So the first one we add it in build.gradle. Hope that is I hope that is clear. The second one, we are going to add them inside this build.gradle. So the second one, we're going to add them. So utaona zingine zinaanza na implementation, zingine zinaanza na class path. So the ones with implementation, you place them here. So the first one we add for Firebase, to add your Firebase Analytics Apple. And we also add the GMS, which will Google services. So we add these two, which are these ones here. Place. So you ensure you add all the dependencies as required. Then once you do that, you have to click sync now. So sync now so that it can now sync all the items you've added. So you go to your login app, then you can now see hapa juu kuna Gradle files have been changed since last project sync. So you need to sync again, synchronize the app again. So you click sync now, then will now synchronize. So it will take some time to synchronize. And also once you synchronize, always ensure that you're in good internet so that it can download all the required components. So once we do that, so we can go back to our Firebase, then we click next. Then now we can now start creating our app and working with login. If you want to log in with email, if you want to log in with Google, we can now begin. So that is a step-by-step method of how to create to connect your app to Firebase and let it communicate. So once everything is synced, the Gradle is synced, we are good to go. So we can now start working with authentication. So we can, so you can wait for your app to sync. Ensure also you're in good internet as your app is trying to synchronize. So with that, that is how to connect. So I'll go back to my login, and now I'll pick any question as the app synchronizes and as this one, as the Gradle is syncing. So I'll pick any question from what we've learned, anything that we've not understood. So we can see our Gradle imesync vizuri. So now we can move back to Android to continue doing our code. So utatoka project, sasa ukuje Android so that you can continue coding. So we can now move back to our project. So tunaweza funga hizi that we've already worked on. So our app is already synced and it's perfect. So the next part is now trying to, so I'll just move us back to our share screen and to check if our app is communicating. So we'll see as it syncs. Once it's communicated well, we can now start coding. We can now start writing code. So swali. Any question? So I'll take us to, I don't know if it has finished loading. Okay, we'll wait for it to communicate. But if you want to add a project, you'll just add an app. So you have a project already. You can have more than one app in a project. So you can have different, but then you'll have to link it so that you get its specific JSON file. The JSON file is what now specifically works. And then the part ya kulink na simu when creating the app. So for the phone, it means it's in Android Studio. So I'll go through how to relink it in the Android Studio. And then from where we download the JSON file and link it. Hiyo nitarudia saizi. Alafu, so acha nirudie hiyo part ya kudownload. So si tumesha register app. So kisha register app, unaweka package name, unaweka name, unaweka SHA-1. So tumeona vile unaweza pick package name. So package name tumesema ni hii hapa, si ndio? Then secondly, the next part ni getting the SHA-1. SHA-1 nimesema you just come into Gradle, so you click on Gradle, then Gradle you come to Android and click sign in report. When you click sign in report, utaona hii app hapa ita run. Then you just click on run, and once you click on run, you're able to see unaenda kuona SHA-1 hapa. So hii SHA-1 ndio utapick uweke hapo. Then ukimaliza you have registered. So ukimaliza hapo utakuwa umemaliza part ya kuregister. So utakuwa umemaliza part ya kuregister. So the next thing ukisha register itakucreatea file inaitwa JSON. So the JSON file is the one which is now going to assist you to download, to link your app to the phone. So you have to have the JSON file. So the JSON file, you download the config, and if you come in, so you'll get your JSON file in your downloads. So the JSON file, we are going to place it inside our app. So to place the file inside our app, so after clicking download, to download, you go and copy the file, then you now come to your app. So we move back to our app. So tuko hapa kwa login app. So unakuja, the first thing unaona hapa kwa Android. Ukiclick Android, you have project, you have packages and all this. So you go to project. So once you go to project, you're going to place your JSON file inside app. So you just click on app, right click and paste. So once you paste, you will find your JSON file there. So that's how you place your JSON file. But you have to ensure you are inside the project folder. So now, after you place your app to the project folder, then you have two Gradle files that you need to link. There are two items that you need to link. Unaona hapa kwa, so I'll just move our screen back to Firebase. So you move back to Firebase. I'll just move us back there. Yeah. So you see here, add SDK. So hizi SDK ndio unakuja unaweka. So kuna places mbili za kuziweka, build.gradle ndani ya project na build.gradle ndani ya app modules. So utakuja hivi to go back to our login app, and we have one inside here. So you're just going to say, I have this build.gradle hii ya kwanza. So hapo ndio nita add the GMS. So utacopy uweke hapo Google services. Unaona hii ni apply plugin. So you make sure chenye itakuguide is to make sure that this is there. So you have the apply plugin there. You have this one. And then you also have the Firebase analytics. And then the other build.gradle you're going to place is this one, the class path, the GMS. But this one Marvin has, and that one, so you don't need to place them unless your project has not created them. So those are the three items you place. Kwa hii build.gradle and this other build.gradle. So that is how you're going to place it. Then once you do that, uta click sync now. Then your project will sync and communicate with the one in kwa Firebase. So that's how you link your app to the Firebase database. I hope now that's a bit more clear. I hope I'm clear. I want you to work on what we have done, everything that we have done, and then link the file, link your app, link your Firebase project. Then tomorrow now we'll just now come and start working on the application, directly working on the application, linking it to signing up form. So kesho tutakuja to create sign up form, then tuende kwa main activity to link na tuone vile ina work. So I want you to spend most of the day creating a Firebase account and ensuring that it works properly. So that's what I want you to do. So if you have a challenge, up to 5, just feel free to message me, and then we can try and sort it out. So tomorrow tukikuja class, we just directly tuanze tu kunini kufanya nini, kulink up, kutengeneza sign up form na sign up using nini, and you make sure that your app has communicated. Itakushow to tick, then you will say continue to console. Sawa? Aya. So for it to work, Grace, as in mine is taking time to sync, I think because my internet is a bit preoccupied, but ikisha kuambia run your app to verify, once you click here, you just have to go to your app. So you ensure you are in app here. When you pick your SHA-1 key, it will change up to SHA-1. So you have to change it back to app. Then you'll just, so you will use your emulator or your phone. So you'll use your emulator or your phone to execute the app. So let me use mine. So you use the emulator, so uta execute app yako kwa nini, kwa phone ama kwa emulator. So you execute it, and then you'll see if it has communicated. We've not done any project so far, so your app will just have the kawaida hello world, but then it will show you whether it has communicated. So ukishafanya hivyo, you just execute your app. So kama kawaida, you just run your app. So you run kwa emulator, and then you get the communication. The other question was when you sync, you the same process na auto update app. Yes. Kusync is just similar to auto updating your app, just to allow it to add the new items. So now we've added some new dependencies and all that. So we've added some new dependencies. So it means we have to auto update it so that it's at par. Picking them before we close. Any other question? When you sync the process, yes. That one we said. It's the same process. Auto updating and syncing is the same process. Okay, sawa basi. So if that's now okay, if you have any question, just post it before we